When it comes to planning your next Disney World trip, everyone under the sun is going to have their opinions on what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. We asked our readers, what's your number one tip for visiting Disney World?
When it comes to visiting Disney World, everybody's a critic. Everybody is. They've got the things that you've got to do, the things you should definitely avoid, especially here at AllEars.net. We're all about giving you our number one tips for visiting Disney World. So today, I think that's exactly what we should do. I think we should go around, we should talk about some of our best tips for visiting Disney World, and we have a lot of our readers that we actually agree with. We've got some great answers that we pulled from Facebook. So, Fry, why don't you start? What's the number one tip for visiting Disney World?
So my tip, I think the viewers are going to be very surprised that I'm the one to say this. Because if you've seen some of our videos on the channel, you know how I get when there's a competition involved or I'm trying to do a crazy ride challenge. I'm just go the whole entire time while I'm in the parks. Now, of course, that's different if I'm going on my own dime, if I'm going on my own time and I want to enjoy the parks without working. But my tip to best enjoy Disney World is to take a break. What? Fry says take a break. Yes, take a break. You absolutely should take a break. Oh my goodness.
Fry, who literally filmed a challenge where she did not sleep before she rode every ride in Disney World. The exact opposite of taking a break.
Exact opposite of taking a break. There is
Fry,
like, zero
who ran
breaks.
a marathon on a Disney cruise where you're supposed to technically take several breaks
ran
and just
a half
relax.
marathon, got on a Disney cruise, and then ran a 5K. This is who's speaking. Just so
I need to
everyone's
hear
aware.
this. Why is this your
Do
tip,
as I
Fry? I need to
say.
hear this.
Do as I say, not as I do, okay? Okay. On my own personal time, take a break. Taking a midday break or even a full day, half day break is very, very important for your overall health, for your mental health, for your body, for your family members, whoever you're going with. Oh my goodness, take a break. Rushing around Disney World can be very stressful, very just not fun. And you've saved up all this time, all this money, and you've planned, which someone else will get into that tip later. You've planned so much for this trip. You want to enjoy it. And if you're just running around all day, you get hangry, you get annoyed, you get agitated, sick. If you're like Quincy, you need to go buy some Pepto-Bismol. Like
I do.
It's not going to be a good time.
It's hard because you're like, I gotta get my money's worth. I'm here from open to close. I paid for all those hours. I'm using them all. But I would much rather use all of those hours but 2 and enjoy all of the other hours because I took a break. And a break doesn't always mean like going back to the hotel and laying down. Like a break could also mean like just stepping out of the park and going and visiting a hotel nearby. It could mean having a table service reservation midday. I love a lunch table service because it's the hottest part of the day. It's a great time to sit down and take a breather, spend some good time eating some good food in a restaurant before having to go back out into the heat and the crowds. And regardless, if you take a break at the right time, that's like the worst part of the day for the parks. Like there's a part of the day where the lines are so long, it's so hot because it's like the peak time. If you step out at that time, you can probably still do all of that stuff when you're rejuvenated with energy and you come back as it starts to cool down and get to the nighttime where people start to sort of not be in line for all of the rides.
Well, let's just put this into perspective, right? How often, like every day in your life, how often are you in just like running around, quick walking around on concrete for 12 hours a day? Like that never happens unless you're an athlete. That never
Happens to me all the time.
Well, I will. Well, okay.
I
yes.
do that a lot.
I'm not including us who do it for a living. We didn't keep this in, but some of the posts, people were like, "You should train. You should start training for your trip," because it's true. I mean, like your body is not equipped, not used to being in that hot sun and doing that kind of activity for as long as you're going to be doing it at Disney World. So taking a break is super duper important, especially if it's a midday cocktail lunch break, like Quincy was saying.
I feel like it also helps you just be present, right? Like being able to be with your family and your friends and you're experiencing these attractions and eating at these restaurants and doing all these incredible things, it's nice to take a break to just kind of reflect, like some of the best times that I've had at Walt Disney World are slowing down and just talking about, oh my God, can you believe we're here? Like, that ride was so much fun. What's been your favorite attraction? Like, my family even sometimes, like, we'll bring a deck of cards with us and we'll find a nice quiet spot, and we'll play cards. You can do that while you're waiting to get on your next attraction with Genie Plus. I mean, there's so many great, advantages to just slowing down just a little bit. You'll get to everything. Well, you know what? You won't get to everything, but you'll hopefully get to the things that you plan to do. And your feet, your body will thank you.
Like, resort hopping is really great. It's an activity that a lot of people love doing. And maybe you didn't dish out the $1,000 a night it takes to stay at Polynesian or Grand Floridian. That doesn't mean you can't go grab a Dole Whip and sit on the beach at Polynesian. It doesn't mean you can't go sit in the lobby and listen to the pianist at Grand Floridian. Like, there's like stuff to do at these resorts that is relaxing, a lot slower paced. And frankly, when I used to do Disney trips before I lived here, there was an afternoon, at least, if not an entire day, that was planned just for resort hopping. I think it's a great way to take a break.
Yeah, I think really the thing to take away from this is the mindset, right? Is go in knowing that, heads up, secret here, full, top secret from Disney World. It is physically and actively impossible to do every single thing at Disney World in one trip. You can't visit every resort. You can't do every. There's no way. I mean, unless you spend maybe a month there and that's your one trip. But you can't eat at every restaurant. You can't. It would be impossible to do everything there. So to attempt to do everything there in one trip, it's gonna stress you out. So that's why we say 1,000%. It's okay to take a break.
Also, if you have kids and they're still napping age, please let them nap on their Disney World vacation.
You don't want to not let them nap.
Please.
Oh my goodness. That's my number one piece of advice for families going to Disney World.
Go to Steakhouse 71, park the stroller next to your table. You drink martinis or whatever is your choice, and let the kiddos zonk out for a bit. That's what you do.
Oh, yeah.
And taking a break is a huge part of our next tip, which, because you never know when you're going to take a break, is kind of just going with the flow. Right, RJ?
Go with the flow.
Listen to my man Crush from Finding Nemo the Musical and go with the flow.
With the flow. Seriously though, my tip is to go with the flow. You guys, there is so much to do at Walt Disney World. I mean, this place has been open for 50 years. There's restaurants, there's attractions, there's rides, there's resorts. You're not going to be able to do everything on your to-do list. And you'll be kind of amazed about what found entertainment you can find along your journey to do these things. And if you don't know what found entertainment is, it's entertainment and character pop-ups and just all types of things that you find along the way while you're going on your attractions that may be on purpose or may not necessarily be on purpose. So you might be on your way to go get on an attraction like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and you may run into Cinderella's stepsisters, which, by the way, if you do, please stop and just take in that. They are hilarious.
They always
aren't they so funny? They're always like asking, they're trying to find a bachelor who's rich. And
you know what Anastasia said to me recently? She said, honey, we don't look for princes, only kings. And I was like,
ooh,
yes.
That is queen
yes,
behavior.
Anastasia.
Say Rise of the Resistance broke down on your plans, right? And you wanted to see that attraction. Bust out your phone, get your data pad, and you can actually play and interact with Galaxy's Edge. Look, Sage's got it.
Helping the resistance, baby.
What if I want to help the first order?
You can also do that too.
Well,
you can also be a scoundrel.
I actually am a scoundrel type.
Bonita F agrees with us. They say take the time to look at all the special effects in the buildings and rides. I think it's really important to do that. What do you guys think?
Oh, totally agree. I'm a massive nerd. Is that what the question was? I love looking at that stuff. I'm like, look at that feat of Imagineering. That rock looks way bigger than it actually is. A feat of Imagineering.
They really thought it through.
That's me all the time.
Yeah, that's what they do best, though. Disney World really does. They do theming. They do immersion. I mean, Galaxy's Edge, the world of Avatar, Pandora. Africa at Animal Kingdom. There are details, even from just the sounds you hear, like just maybe coming from a doorway that you're like, what's happening? Why is someone knocking on the other side of the door? I don't know, because someone probably lives there. Immersive. It doesn't matter. It's just themed. So
stopping and looking at the details actually could be a whole nother element of fun to your Walt Disney World vacation, especially if you're at Galaxy's Edge, where there are many details. And if you want to know more about that, I think a certain Bucket of Fry made a video about that on that channel. Check that out. There's some amazing tips, amazing things that you may not even know were in Galaxy's Edge that you can find to add to your found entertainment on your Disney World trip. We're not saying don't plan. Listen, go in with a game plan. It's very important to know what you want to do, where you want to go. But things happen, you won't always get to everything you want to do. And sometimes that could be a really good thing. Our reader, Tara G, agrees. She says, prepare all you can, but go with the flow. Don't be rigid and freak out if plans change. Besides, sometimes, many times, those changes lead to other magical happenings. Oh my gosh, sorry, someone is calling me. No, I cannot talk to you, Mom. I'm so sorry.
Mom.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm recording an episode right now of everybody say hi to my mom.
Hi, Mom.
So I'm gonna have to call you back. Krista M says, slow down. You might not get to do everything, but things you are present for will be very magical, especially if you're sharing them with friends and family. My biggest tip for everyone going to Walt Disney World is enjoy your trip. No matter what happens, no matter the ups and downs that can and will happen, take a moment to be present, go with the flow, and enjoy it's your vacation. You're at Walt Disney World.
One of my favorite things I like to do when I'm slowing down at Walt Disney World is just, and maybe this is a hot take, I don't know, but I do like to take a day. Like when my family's here, because I'm a local, but when my family's here visiting, we do take a full day of rest. And that could be like a day where at that night we're gonna go to Disney Springs. But I also really like when we go, we do the Fantasia Putt Putt mini golf.
I love Fantasia Putt Putt mini golf.
Right? It's just like it's
So
fun.
fun.
It's a fun competitive silly
I just did that with my
competitive
family.
game. Oh my god, and it's so worth it. It's so much fun and it's so worth it. They also have the winter
Summerland.
Sorry, Winter Summerland
and I'll
mini
tell you
golf.
one thing, you can see Santa in a tank top on that one. I will not be elaborating.
Sold.
If that doesn't convince you, definitely worth it. And then when we're going back to the parks the next day, we just feel so much more refreshed. And we feel connected as a family because we weren't just rushing around the entire day. We took that one day to go, we're going to, just have time to be together and maybe do a fun game or maybe have a nice dinner. But tomorrow we hit the road again, so I don't know. Just it's important to stay connected. We've been talking about going with the flow and taking a break, but in order to take a break and feel relaxed enough to go with the flow, the big tip that we saw from our readers and something that we definitely agree with is doing your research. Right, Quincy?
I am a research gal. I'm the planner. I'm the type A. If we're going on a Disney trip, there will be a document. There will be a spreadsheet. What does that stuff do? I don't know yet. I'll have to figure it out. And odds are, if you're watching this video right now, you're also the planner in your family. Which, good for you. Welcome to the fold. We love you here. But yeah, the big tip here is do your research. while you can go with the flow and take a break, and you should leave like open air in your plan, you should plan, because going to Disney World without any research is really, 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 really scary and difficult nowadays. And that's a big part of why we do what we do, is so that you can feel equipped to handle the very complicated, very crowded, very expensive trip that is Disney World. There's a lot happening in Disney World. A lot is changing all of the time. Ride closures are happening, ride openings, festivals, resort construction, Genie Plus. There's so much happening that it's really difficult to keep up with it all without just kind of staying a little plugged in ahead of your trip. Using Genie Plus, I don't recommend buying it if you haven't done your research on it, because you can really get your money's worth if you do, and you probably won't if you don't understand the system in advance. If the pool is under construction at your hotel, that could be a major bummer, especially if you got pool kids, you know what I mean? With ride closures, this just happened to my family. My brother was coming, my whole family came and visited, and they found out the day before they were getting here that Rock and Roller Coaster was going to be closed their whole trip, and it totally bummed them out. So like, that's like, they were really bummed. Like, my brother was like, cancel the trip. Cancel the whole trip. Rock and Roller Coaster is closed.
Quincy. Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
know. So like, clearly he wasn't watching my videos because he doesn't like me, I guess. My own brother. Shannon B says, do your research. There are a lot of aspects to consider when planning your Disney trip. Do not go in with the misconception that you can wing everything and be able to do everything that you want. That's very true. Disney is not what it was 15 years, 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. It used to be that you could do a spontaneous trip and probably knock out a few priorities. Honestly, even 5 years ago, just the 2020 park closures changed so much. Like, if you haven't been, it is so different. And it's just not the case that you can wake up in the morning, decide which park you're going to go to, because you have to have that park reservation, and make sure you're going to get through all of your priorities without planning. Now, if you plan, if you take tips from AllEars, if you use a strategy, you can get through your priorities hands down every time. I literally have done a ride experiment with Emma where we tried to ride every ride in Magic Kingdom. We did it on a very slow day, and then we did it on Thanksgiving week, one of the busiest weeks of the whole year. We got through the exact same number of rides. So those crowds don't matter if you have strategy, if you have planning. It's all about actually putting that work in advance.
Yep.
What are you guys planners or not planners?
Oh, I'm a planner, okay? One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plan this trip, all right? Because I don't go to Disney World as often as I like. I'm going to look at AllEars videos. I'm going to even look at our friends at Disney Food Blog, and I'm going to plan what I'm going to eat, where I'm going to go, what rides I'm going to do. But I'm also going to leave an open space for things to happen. I'm the kind of person that also likes to plan my found entertainment. I'll be like, okay, so we're going to spend the afternoon in Galaxy's Edge, and just in case the ride is too crowded or closed down, I know that we have options to look at some found entertainment over here as well. You know, you want to get your money's worth, and the best way to do that is to go in with a game plan, to know what you want to go, to stay up on trends, what's new, what's open. Happily Ever After just returned back, you know, Epcot Forever is back now. So it's very important that you come in with a game plan.
Planners are cool.
Planners are cool. Let's get shirts made. Planners are cool.
Planners are cool. I, on the other hand, am not a planner. In fact, I need to get better at planning. Here at Walt Disney World, obviously, I'm very good at planning just because this is what we do for a living, and I can plan it within an inch of its life. But recently, I was working in LA, and I had the opportunity to go because it was such a last-minute trip. I had the opportunity to do some stuff at Disneyland, and I did not plan. It was literally like the last minute, and I definitely I loved Disneyland, but I was disappointed because I didn't get to do a whole bunch. You know, and again, I know we're talking about Walt Disney World, you know, but still, planning is very important, whether you're going to either coast. Because I was definitely disappointed in the fact that I didn't know I was going, but two, I didn't plan ahead, and I didn't get to ride any of the attractions because it was so busy. I waited maybe an hour for the Nightmare Before Christmas Haunted Mansion layover. RJ and Quincy, teach me your ways. Teach me your
I'm happy to teach you my ways. I would love to. I'll teach you all about my spreadsheets.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah. I've seen them. They're real.
Sometimes
They
I make
exist.
Fry Bucket look at my spreadsheets. I'm like, look at what it does. Look at how it does the math for me. Look at this.
Oh, I love formulas. I love Excel
I love a
formulas.
formula.
Oh my God.
Bri, are you a planner? You are.
I'm halfway because I think the more, specifically when it comes to Disney World, the more that I go, the less of a planner I become because I just instinctively know what to do. So I just do it. I don't necessarily plan ahead. Also depends on who I'm going with. If I'm going with y'all, if I'm going with Quincy, I am not planning because I know that she's going to take care of it. She'll send me the spreadsheet and I'll read it.
So true. If you've got a good plan, get yourself, you don't need to be a good, you don't need to be a good planner. Get yourself a good planner friend and let them,
Period.
do it for you.
So if I'm going with Quincy, I'm not doing a single thing. I'm just going to show up.
Sometimes I'll be booking Genie Plus reservations in the park, and Sage will be like, do you want me to do that? And I'm like, no, get away. You just sit back, relax, and enjoy the trip that I'm planning for you meticulously.
If you want to use the Genie Plus bridge, you've got to pay the toll.
You've got to pay the toll.
So yeah, sometimes I'm a planner, sometimes I'm not. More often I don't end up planning as much as I used to.
Our reader Michael H says, plan early, evaluate, and optimize. Use Genie Plus Lightning Lane, think happy thoughts, and be kind to others. I love everything that is being said here. The word optimize is a great word because optimize for you really takes all three of the tips we've shared today into account, which is awesome. And also think happy thoughts and be kind to others. A huge thing. If you have a positive outlook on your vacation, things going wrong can become things going very, very right. I've had some amazing experiences because things didn't turn out how I wanted to. Just last week, I've literally told the story in the TMS already, but just last week I ended up on the wrong boat to Magic Kingdom and I got a special gift from the boat driver. I had a great attitude about it. Cool. I was having a great time. If you have a good attitude, a lot of times things going wrong can turn into the best part of your vacation. But if family fights ensue, if you didn't take a break and now everyone's hangry, you could really put a damper on a really good day otherwise. So that's a great point from Michael. And then our other reader, Sarah M, says, plan. Get a map and plan out what you want to see and do and what you want to. Otherwise, you'll spend too much time in the parks figuring it out. And that's another thing. You don't want to waste precious park time being like, well, what do you want to do now? There used to be a thing that Disney had where you could make a custom printed map and they would mail it to your house ahead of your trip and you could put all of your must-dos on the map and it would mark your must-dos on the map. I used to do that for every single park ahead of my trip. They had it this is literally from 10 years ago. It's from they offered it on the Disney website. They don't anymore. But you could do that yourself. Get an actual physical map. Like Sarah says, plan out where stuff is. Make sure you're not going to be backtracking a lot. Circle the things that you want. You can find these online. You can print them out. Or you can just use the My Disney Experience app, which has an app. Screenshot it. Put little X's. Even if you don't need the actual visual aid, just getting a look at a map is going to help you a lot when it gets to the park and it's time to execute that plan. But there's a happy medium. You should take a break. You should go with the flow. You should plan, but leave room to do both of those things and have your priority list so you know what to focus on in case things do go wrong. And as kind of came through all of these tips, have a good attitude about going to Disney World. You're spending a lot of money. I understand it's high stress, but you're with your family, your friends, you're with people you care about. You're in a really cool place that's designed to create family memories. Having that mindset is the number one ticket to having a good Disney trip.
If you like this video, please click on that thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. We have videos coming out every day, and if you click on that notification bell, you'll always get an alert when the new video is up. And also be sure to visit AllEars.net where you can read other people's reviews and write your own reviews about your experiences in Disney World. If you have some thoughts, we want to hear them. Comment below. This is Chris for AllEars.net. See you next time.